Bitcoin is currently hovering around $76,000 going into tomorrow's FOMC. It will be a massive day because not only do we have FOMC, but most of the S&P 500's biggest companies are reporting their earnings. This could be a pivotal period in the market. So you can see that since sweeping the 79K high, Bitcoin has experienced a little bit of rejection on the daily time frame. Now, if we go on the 4-hour chart, the key level that I am currently eyeing is the level that we're sitting at right now, $76,000. The reason why this level is significant is because it was the previous wick where Bitcoin got rejected, and then we moved all the way down to the value area low of this entire range that we've been in for over 2 months now. So if Bitcoin is to sweep this level and then reclaim it, there is a chance that we can get another potential push to the highs. But my base case remains exactly the same, and my trades have been reflecting this. I have been shorting Bitcoin for quite some time, and you can see here that I'm currently sitting just around $85,000 in unrealized profit, and I've secured around 330K on my most recent Bitcoin short trade, but I've continued to compound and took profits on the way down. I am also still shorting Tau, but this trade has its stop loss at break even. So if the price is to move to the upside, well, I stand to lose no capital except for unrealized gains, of course. Now, all of these trades were shared within my community. So if you want to know how I've been trading the market, you do have the first link in my description down below. I do think we're going to have a pretty important period in the market in these upcoming weeks. So I would recommend that you join. If you DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram, you'll be able to join that group. It is free. You're trading with your own capital. And to be able to access that group, you simply have to sign up with one of the affiliate exchange links. Now, I have also been working with 2bit, where you can earn up to $60,000 in rewards. There's tons of deposit bonuses, and there's also tons of trading bonuses. This is the third link in my description down below. And remember, if you sign up, you can join my community as well for free. Now, Bitcoin is looking very interesting because I mentioned in my community that I'd be looking to potentially long Bitcoin for a scalp targeting the highs if the price starts slowing down. But every single time that we've started slowing down, we've essentially just gotten a pop back up and then a rejection lower. So let's see how the price action develops, because I think that we're going to have a very volatile period ahead. In my opinion, the bulls do not want to lose $76,000 because then we can start talking about dropping all the way down to the value area high of this existing range, which puts Bitcoin just above $73,000. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know that my base case has remained exactly the same in terms of the higher time frame chart, and that is Bitcoin will likely go below $60,000 this year. But in the more immediate short term, of course, we can trade this price action and make money whether we go up or down. That's at least what I plan to do. Please remember as well that nothing that I discuss on the channel should be construed as financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy on the internet sharing all of his own personal trades and his overall market analysis. So, taking a look at the liquidation heat map, you can see that there is some liquidity to the upside all the way up to around $80,000. We got people jumping into shorts from around that level. And in fact, I added to my existing short from 97K at around that level too to take advantage of profits on the way down. So it wouldn't surprise me if we can potentially sweep up and sweep down some liquidity. However, if we start losing $76,000 on a higher time frame candle closing basis, well, it would suggest that we're already ready to move lower for Bitcoin. Something that we must consider is that in the 2022 bear market, Bitcoin had a couple of closes above its own bull market support band, which usually acts as resistance in a bear market. However, if we take a look at the 200-day simple moving average, that's effectively where we got rejected from in that last bear market, which at the time was just above $48,000 for Bitcoin. So we popped above the bull market support band and we got rejected at that 200-day simple moving average. Then, if we take a look at today's price action, you'll notice that we got one close above the bull market support band, which is not out of the ordinary as we just went over, and the 200-day moving average is all the way up to above $84,000. So, in my opinion, if Bitcoin can maintain above its own bull market support band, then this remains to be the next potential target for Bitcoin. However, as I'm recording this video, we are currently back below the bull market support band. No one is a fortune teller. All you can really do is trade the market that's right in front of you. And because we got that rejection and it's what I was looking for, I decided to go short on Bitcoin, adding to my existing position. The thing is, if we do pump higher, I would honestly be even happier because it would give me an even better short. The other thing that we must consider that I discussed in some of my previous videos is that the market likes to front run a lot of key levels. Very rarely do we get the perfect retest that everyone is waiting for. And that's why I like to actually short Bitcoin before we hit $80,000 in the event that we don't manage to hit $80,000. Everyone has been calling for 80K, and therefore from a risk to reward perspective, it made sense to be short from around this zone and of course from much higher. The last time Bitcoin rejected at the top of its range, we saw Bitcoin go all the way up to just below $98,000. At this time, everyone was calling for a $100,000 Bitcoin. We did not manage to get it, and the rest was history. Something I'd like to also bring to your attention is this Bitcoin exchange liquidation map. So we've had a couple more shorts starting to pile into the market on the 30-day time frame, but there is still approximately 2 times more cumulative short leverage in the market compared to cumulative long leverage in the market. So this is definitely something that we must consider. And again, on the funding rates topic, a lot of you have been saying because the funding rates are negative, it means that we're going to get a massive short squeeze. And while I don't think that it's unrealistic to expect Bitcoin to grab some upside liquidity, we have to remember that in a bull market, the funding rate remains positive, even though Bitcoin continues to climb up. In a bear market, the funding rate can remain negative as Bitcoin continues to drop. I think that we will be seeing a low below $50,000 this year likely, but at first I'm going to start dollar cost averaging the moment we get below $60,000. It might require some patience because Bitcoin can continue to chop for even months, and it would exhaust a lot of market participants before we make a more convincing bottom, in my opinion, of course. So if we take a look at the Coinbase Premium Index, this is also something that's very noteworthy because the last time that we had a massive spike on the Coinbase Premium Index, it marked a local top in the market. And obviously, the local bottoms coincide with massive sell-offs from the Coinbase side of things. And so when this started dropping, it was always a sign that the rally was getting a little bit exhausted, along with the volume that we've been seeing. What you're seeing here is very much declining volume, and so we need to take that under consideration. So if the Coinbase Premium Index continues to remain in red, and this is just the beginning like we saw over here, the more significant drawdown can already occur. We know that typically going into FOMC, especially in a bear market, afterwards, whether it's a few days or immediately after, Bitcoin tends to trend lower. It's something to keep on your mind. And I also wanted to bring this to your attention, which is basically the Monday pivot. Over the past few weeks, Monday has effectively determined how the market would operate over the course of the week. And you can see that when we've had bearish Mondays, well, the rest of the week typically was bearish. And more recently, when we had bullish Mondays, well, it marked a nice pivot, which allowed the market to move higher. Yesterday was a red day, so make of that information what you will. And if you haven't already been paying attention to stablecoin dominance, you'll definitely want to take a look at this chart because on the weekly time frame now, we are trying to hold above the bull market support band. When stablecoin dominance starts trending upwards, it is notoriously bearish for the crypto market, and obviously, this rally that we've had over the past couple weeks, we were dropping into the bull market support band. So if we manage to hold above here and then we make a new high for stablecoin dominance, up here would likely coincide with a new low for Bitcoin, something for you to definitely consider. And the last thing I'd like to cover in today's video, tomorrow I will be doing the FOMC live stream. And so make sure to stay tuned, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell because I'm going to go live for probably 2 to 3 hours. And we also have on Thursday the core PCE price index month over month, the GDP growth rate, personal income, personal spending, and on Friday, the manufacturing PMI. So it should be a very volatile week. We have FOMC, a lot of economic data, and of course, some of the top S&P 500 companies reporting their earnings. Let's see how the price action develops. If you enjoy the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.